you for being here. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And we gathered you here also to talk about your practices and see where were the links. Where also there's a lot of differences and there's different techniques. But I think we can talk about shapes, about light, about also having a workshop and what it is to be independent in your practice.
Mm-hmm.
But first, what I would like you guys to do is to introduce yourself. So maybe if Dorian, you can start.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Dorian Renard. I'm a French designer based in Marseille. I did my study in Design Academy where I started my project, The Beauty of Distortion. That's about the plastic blowing through and with the idea of like blowing like glass. And have the same effect as the glass to play with the aspect of it. And there is a lot of people today who have a bad look on plastic, and bringing the craftsmanship and the intention of like the care of the material can maybe like helps to have a better look of it.
Yeah, I see. Nice. New Minoesch?
Okay, I'm Minoesch Beeldstroo. I'm based in the Netherlands and I did the art school HKU, Hogeschool van Utrecht, product design. And I do a lot with porcelain, and I love the lights inside and play with it and just shaped a lot of forms. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that both of you guys studied then in one city and then changed, right? Because then you were in Utrecht and now I understand that you moved to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And you were in Eindhoven as well. And then you decided to move
back to
Marseille.
France. Yeah.
Back to France as well. But how is it to then shift and how does it work with the community to go from one place to the other? Do you have an opinion onto that? Do you keep
For me it was a bit like coming back to like where I grew up. I didn't like grow up in Marseille, so I discovered a new city, and it was like the opposite of the Eindhoven. Like it's a mixed culture. We have the sun, the food, and everything. So it's like really starting a new life. Closed my studio kind of in Netherlands, reopening one in France with the French rules. So it's also a bit different than the one in the Netherlands. And it takes some time at the beginning to reconnect with the people there, having the new contact of the place, keeping the contact from the Netherlands, and trying to play in between like both.
But the Netherlands is a different context, right? Because then you have a country that is all connected with the train, so it's easy to go from one city to the other.
Yeah.
Was it like an easy decision to move to Amsterdam, or was it?
For me, for work. At the moment, no, because I moved 3 months ago, so I didn't.
Super recent.
It was super recent. So I don't have a workshop at the moment, but I will find one.
So what are you doing in Amsterdam at the moment?
I work in Utrecht still, so just living, just enjoy the time over there and see a lot of people. Yeah.
And so where do you produce your lamps then?
No, I don't have a workplace, so everything is at my parents' house. And if I need a space, then it's possible, of course. But for now, I don't have one. So.
It's in process.
Yeah.
And how did it start for you to get the workspace?
Yeah,
the first time you
took some time also. Like at the beginning, I was looking for new places. And I end up to call my friends and be like, oh, you have already a place in Marseille. Maybe we can share.
Yeah, I think
so I was like sub-renting a part of it and slowly taking a bit more space, exchanging with other people if I can have like my proper like place. And now we decide just to have the whole studio for both of us. So it's like slowly growing, taking a bit more space and like working kind of with the others to find a good situation to work.
How long did it take?
Like through now, since I arrived like 2 years ago.
Okay.
A bit, so, but the guy was like working in Paris, so I was mostly alone, like in the studio with my friends.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
But
you were also in Utrecht. You had a workspace or not?
I had.
Yeah,
but I also stopped it because I moved.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it's also all those transition phases are a bit tricky. I'm in the same spot actually because I just moved back to Paris from Netherlands. It's been 3 months as well, 3.5
Oh,
months,
yeah.
I think. And it's you arrive and first you need to find a place, then the studio, and then to have this entire ecosystem that is existing around you. I'm not there yet, but it's a funny adventure, I think. Yeah. Then to talk more about your work, then I think both of you guys have very different techniques, but you both play with the materiality of in your products. So what because Minoesch, you work with porcelain, and then you work with the transparency also, the translucency of porcelain.
Yeah, for me it's the shapes are more important because I have a piece of plaster and I'm just modeling until the end. It feels fine, and then I'm like, okay, you're finished, and then I take another pieces and I'm like modeling, and then in the end I put it together, and then it will be one pieces, and then I put some light and it's just playing where I want it, and then it's a little surprise for me.
Nice.
It's not that I'm thinking about that much. Maybe this one more, but the hang lamps, they just a surprise.
And you manage every time to get the right thickness of for the porcelain to make it translucent.
Yeah. It's not this porcelain is not that hard, but
right. Okay.
The other one, you have different porcelain, but this one is always translucent. Yeah.
And then your focus is around light, right? And then do you
at the moment, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you want to develop a more diverse variety, or do you focus more on lighting? Is it something, or even porcelain? Is it a material you want to stick to, or? Yeah,
and maybe glass. But that's a new idea in my mind. So I think I want to try it to put it together. I think it's nice, but for now it's porcelain. Yeah.
And do you know craftsmen already that are working with glass, maybe, that can help you out? Or?
I have Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
I talk a lot with him, so
that's good.
I will visit him when we are back in the Netherlands, or I'm back in the Netherlands. Yeah.
And he's quite experimental as well, right, with glass.
At the moment,
right?
Yes. So that's nice.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I want to see if it's my thing. I want to try
it. He's based in Antwerp, right?
Yeah, but that's close to the Netherlands, so it's okay.
A little Flixbus, and then in a click.
Then I'm there.
Yeah. But then we talk about glass, and then your practice is about a bit replicating the texture and the materiality of glass. I think also we talk about plastic a lot, but glass is also a material that is highly polluting, just because of like the energy that it consumes, the furnace, and all the process that is around it. And I was a bit wondering, what is your take on that? If you take the plastic and the glass and you try to compare them a bit, how does it shape your practice a bit?
Me, it's really like taking the glass as like the first drawing at the beginning was like when I deep into the plastic and the technique and how can I shape the material. I was really interested in it, but now it's more like finding old references of like maybe the shape of it, like how people shaped the glass before back in the days and today's, because there are still like designers and artists like making glass pieces, that it's way different than the basic craftsmanship. So I try to like dig in both, but not anymore in the technique itself, because the technique I developed is now so different from the process of like glass making that it's more like pushing my own practice with like new tools or new ways of assembling the shapes, and less looking at glass. More at an old chandelier or something, and see how can I like convert that in plastic and go beyond the glass material, because with plastic I get like way more options sometimes. So it's always trying to make it maybe an extra complex to what glass can be like.
Right. Yeah, you explained me already, but I don't know if you know, but then also Dorian is mimicking also glass blowing techniques to make the vases. Maybe can you just explain how it works with the heat gun and the tube?
So I start like, for example, the vase that's here, I start with like big sheets of like PETG, that is a type of like acrylic that's used normally for like vacuum forming and stuff like that. So it reacts really well to like a low heat, so it's about like 200 degrees. And I have like kind of pattern in cardboard that I assemble. so I know which shape I have to cut in these sheets. So I cut all the parts, I dye them with like pigments from clothing. So it's a big tank of like boiling water. I mix the pigment and I dip the piece in it. And I re-clean everything, reassemble with the heat gun. So I put close all the parts, hit the side, and it melt. And it's how like I glue the shape together. And it become like one container that I heat it up again, blow apart, heat up another part, and again like shape it. Like that's kind of like the most funny part of the project.
Yes.
It's the moment that I can really shape the piece and see it like coming, you know.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting also because then I see that it's almost monomaterial, your practice, even though when you do lighting then you have also a bit of other components that needs to bring electricity and a bulb as well. Then Minoesch, I see that also you work a lot with metal parts and to connect porcelain parts. It's more.
I need them because otherwise I don't know how I can do it. Sometimes the holes are too small and then it will crack. At the end of the scale, most of the pieces are broken, but most of the times now it's okay. I think a lot of people are scared because it's porcelain, but it's really strong.
Yeah, and I see also, so your finish, it's actually, you don't glaze the ceramic.
No,
right?
it's pure. Yeah, I really love that. No color. Maybe I was thinking, I have one piece with color, but the light is not that translucent anymore. So that's the reason that it's all natural. Yeah, so maybe playing with the lights at one point. Right. So more color playing. But
and if you put transparent glazing, then it's
that's possible.
Yeah,
that's possible. But I don't like
the shiny aspect.
Yeah, the shiny thing.
It's
not my thing. Yeah, for my pieces, I don't like.
Yes.
Yeah.
You also told me that it was really important that for the vases, especially, that the right light is coming onto the vase because it helps with the power. The power.
Yeah, there is a like display of like we can switch from plastic to glass almost just with the light, and if the lights come from behind or the side, it changes the whole aspect, and the light bumps in all the complexity of the shape, kind of. So more it's twisted, more it's like complex. That's why also I like to play with that because it's emphasized the fact that it's like the light bumps everywhere, and it's a bit the kind of the deal when I have to make a lamp. I always try to think to put the light or inside the piece or somewhere that it can bump and it's not from outside. Like.
Okay.
And I saw on your Instagram account actually that like you most of the time you install. You take pictures in a darker space, so then also the light is more resonant.
Yeah, so it's more white.
Yeah,
I really love it. Yeah,
And also, but I see also that in the exhibition it works quite well also during the day. And I was wondering also if there was for you a big difference in the way you see the piece when it's a bit isolated in a dark room, or if you when it's in the day you can really see the ceramic and also the shades of the light, I think.
Yeah, so if you put the lights out, it's also a nice follow-up piece. Then it's like more art piece, and it's a little surprise when you put the lights on. Then you see the little details. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And also you print your name, right, on the side.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, you have a little image, and it's like a special printer. You can write it online.
Nice.
I did it, and then it's yellow, and then you put it in the oven, and it burns in the porcelain.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So it's.
So like while you bake the porcelain.
You bake the porcelain first, and then you polish it, and then at the end you put the little image. It can be everything, but for me it's my name.
So you bake it twice then.
Yeah.
If you want to,
Just only the one pieces that has the name. Yeah.
And do you sign your work?
No.
No.
It was a kind of a question for like clients that want to, not my name, but maybe put like one under like 20. If I made a small edition and a repetitive piece, for example, and I tried, and I was like, the fact that it's transparent, for me, I see that like straight through the piece, and I feel like it's not. as I made it, I had like to modify kind of the shape to engrave the number or something.
Yeah, I see.
So I prefer to give an official document to say it's a one-off, a series or like something like that,
I see.
official collection, whatever.
Yeah, no, I understand.
More than engraving the pieces.
Yeah, right. We can talk a bit about the exhibition because we're gathered here. It's thanks to Zito also that pulled this together. And I think it's also, we were having a talk with Lucas yesterday at the garden of Alcova, and he was saying that it was a pirate exhibition. So like we brought our flag and we marked it down, and then we arrived here. I was wondering if it's something that you perceived as well in the way that things were communicated, or if it's for you like a show that it's similar to others.
No, it isn't.
How is it? How did he connect with you, Lucas?
With Lucas, I met him at the Dutch Design Week a few years ago, and he came to me, and we already followed each other on Instagram, but we never met. So that was one of the first things. We had a nice talk, and then last Paris Design Week he asked me also. You also work? Yeah. So
nice.
That's nice. Nice compliment. Yeah.
And for you, was it logical also to bring your work in Milan?
This is the second time, but this is nicer because all the pieces together, it's the same world, I think. And the last time that I was here, it was like I was on my own, but I had more pieces around me, but it was not one beautiful piece together. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Where was it?
Isola.
At Isola,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dorian, you did it already Milan also past editions? Or?
Yeah, but not as also it was more like sending a piece without even like going there, because it was for the other shows, but it was like small pieces, and this time it's a bit like bringing like we have a bigger space, we are all together, so it's also a playground to make a new piece and have fun on one.
Yeah. When we talk also about ways of exhibiting, I think exhibiting at Isola, and exhibiting here, or exhibiting in a gallery space, it's also like three very different realms. And when we talk about your products as well, I think you have something that is more easy to install in someone's home, let's say, and something that you can perceive also within on a table. Also your let's say chandelier, you can have it also on top of the dining table. While for Dorian, it's a bit more of a hustle, no?
There is different size of pieces.
That's it, right?
I mean, smaller chandelier than this one here also. Yeah, I don't make the piece to be hanging on the table. First, I just want to make it shine in my atelier in a way. I'm already happy with that.
That's already good.
And of course, when we have to install at some people's place, it changes also, because it's also the opportunity to see the piece like in the other context of someone's living or an exhibition, or so the light change, everything change, and you also see the piece differently. So.
Right. Yeah. Because also, I guess, it's always the question: are we capable of producing in series as well? And I think with your process, it takes a lot of time to make a big piece, and it's in the center of your practice as well. But for you, is it easy to edit it? And
it's not that hard at the moment because I have the more molds,
right?
So I can produce faster. But every piece I had to hold it in my hand and polish it. So it's also for one lamp a little bit long time to make. Yeah, of course.
Precious artifact. Yeah. Is it also a decision for you to keep a small collection, or would you like to edit it also in large numbers?
I really love to do every piece by myself, so I think that's the reason that it will be small. It's one thing that I'm thinking about a lot, but
yeah. And Wood Selection, was it the first exhibition where you were showcasing your work not in a stand but also in a more cohesive installation?
No, this
it's the first.
Nice.
Okay.
Wood Selection.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by the fact that many people, let's say this, they accepted the challenge as well, and because I think Lucas has been quite blunt about the fact that it was the first edition of the show, that it was a test as well, and we can see now we have like 64 designers. It's
There's a lot, right?
it's insane.
But it works hard.
Yeah. Is there one piece that you like a lot about in Good Selection and you would like to bring home if you could?
Yeah.
Yeah? Which one?
That vase.
That
The
vase?
vases on the table, they're cut.
Oh, from
Yeah.
Jacques Monneraud?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. He's also doing very delicate work.
Yeah, that's
We should send him a message and see if we can do a swap.
I hope that he was here, but he isn't.
I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
no.
You know where he's based actually? I think he's based in Paris.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
his pieces.
Yeah. And for you, Dorian?
For me, it's more like having one of the space that was like we curate kind of a small like a living room
Right.
or dining room, and I'm more like having one, for example. I can't choose really,
Yeah.
but it's not like I feel the piece works also like together.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So as the table with the lamps of Lucas and the ceramic of Jacques Monneraud,
Yeah.
I would like to have the table with the piece on
With the
kind
pieces on top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not just taking the piece out of the series and out
Yeah.
of the composition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, nice. How do you feel about this also like mix up, you know, like the fact that it's you don't have the spot that is on your piece, but then you have like this entire atmosphere around it. Is it something that you prefer then?
I think it's a lovely idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works out better maybe.
Yeah.
It works together.
So then it works as well, this idea. I think it works quite well indeed, this idea of having different spaces that are quite split. And I really like also your chandelier above this console of Alexandre Labruyere. That is also
It's
doing
beautiful
very
together.
refined work,
Yeah.
I think. But I'm wondering how we can also continue this outside of this kind of exhibition, if there is like also different formats in which we could gather outside of an exhibition format, that's what I mean. And doing like, because a lot of what we communicate in is through social media now also, and that's how we know each other, and that's how we share our work, our presence, and we build up characters as well, I think, you know. You were also working with Job Smith at some point.
Smith, yeah.
And then he has all those videos of him being like, I am this designer, and I'm the guy who is making unique items. And I think it's fascinating to see how you can also like shift the personality.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why also we brought this podcast here, you know, because then we really wanted to connect people, and we wanted to show that it's for us also the design week. I think it's a place where people are meeting actually, which is lovely.
And it's nice too because we showcase our piece, but we can't be here, and it's nice to have a little talk about it, and not just having the piece, but exchange about because sometimes we just don't see each other. The piece are like together, but not us. And now we are like with the piece, talking about it. So it's also a different vision of it. It's nice.
Did you meet other people that you were texting on Instagram or things like this? And in Milan.
Friends. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Also people from the Holland. Yeah. From
Right.
the Netherlands. Yeah. I never see them.
Yeah.
Now
that's it.
we are here. So yeah.
That's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And you are you going a lot in other exhibitions, or are you trying to stick a bit around your own show? How does that work for you guys?
It's a bit like a half time here in this exhibition, and half of the rest of the time also going around, because Milan there is so many like places, aspect of the design week that it have to be seen. So it's like a whole holiday of a trip of like half working, half eating ice cream and chilling in venues.
And how is the energy level then? Yeah, all good.
I'm still
And
good.
you?
The sun is like feeding us with energy.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. We're like plants.
Otherwise, we'll be sleeping all day long.
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's also like when you do the build up, and then it's like, and then you have like those
Yes,
first
also.
days where you
Yeah.
have to talk a lot, and it can be quite a lot, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then tonight we have also another celebration, right?
Yeah.
So we have this dinner. There's a curated dinner.
Amazing, I think.
Yeah. But this is also a new thing that is coming up, no?
Yeah.
The curated dinners. I don't know if you participated to something like this before.
Yeah, I had some with like Dutch Invertools, and I was part of this group before.
Yeah.
So we had like this kind of meeting also outside, like outside the proper event. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you?
it will be my first.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So we will
yeah.
see.
But we always have those gathering, no, around the table with food when we're designers, right? It's a
Yeah, we
moment.
do it between each other, but like now it's
Exactly.
slightly more visual.
Exactly. Because you get out of the exhibition and you're like, well, actually, I'm starving. Where's the first restaurant? And so, but did you bring some guests for tonight? Or?
Yeah, one friend.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's with me on this trip.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to have people surrounding us.
Yes,
you
right.
know?
Yeah.
We cannot step in the design weeks alone. That'd be
It's
a pity.
possible also, but it's nice to share.
Yeah.
But I think it's what we do also, the fact that everybody is like exhibiting here.
Mhm.
We are kind of also like going out together and living the life all together also.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
what's quite fun.
I think we arrived towards the end of this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there is something that you really would like to mention about your practice, I would be more than happy to hear it.
Follow us and give us like energy to
That's
continue,
it.
and we'll make great pieces.
Yeah.
Follow good selection.
That's
We'll continue to make some nice shows.
nice. Yeah. So if we want to meet you guys, where do we find you? In Marseille?
Marseille,
What's the easiest way to reach out?
Vieux-Port, and go
Vieux-Port.
straight to Rue de Breteuil. And I will do a small sign to welcome you at the atelier.
Nice. And you? Is it easier to catch you in Utrecht or in Amsterdam?
Amsterdam then.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Not my
Favorite spot?
workspace. Not my workspace, but you're welcome.